As expected and also mentioned last week, the concern was that demonstrations would start, and hopefully non-violent. That is a key. And reports came back that they did start on Friday, and little to no violence, which is a pleasing aspect. And the demonstrations were calling on authorities to end the shutdown have occurred in Michigan, Ohio, North Carolina, Minnesota, Utah, Virginia, and Kentucky, with more demonstrations against the lockdown measures planned, including in Wisconsin, Oregon, Maryland, Idaho, and also Texas. Good stuff. Mr. Branson, he of Nexium fame, or infamy, shall we say, has been calling on the UK government to bail out his airline. And to do that, he has pledged his luxury island resort as collateral to get the UK government to bail out Virgin Atlantic. And the billionaire Virgin Group boss said in an open letter to staff that he was not asking for a handout, but a commercial loan believed to be $500 million. And the airline's survival was in doubt, and he put his Necker Island home in the Caribbean up for a pledge and to be mortgaged, he said. Now, this comes as Virgin Group's airline in Australia faces current administration, and both airlines have been hit hard by the virus, and Branson has appealed to governments in both countries for help. However, he's been criticised for appealing for taxpayer aid rather than drawing on his own huge wealth. Mr. Branson's fortune is thought to be well over $4 billion. Now, the large US airline Delta also owns 49% of Virgin Atlantic. I have a feeling there's more to that. Necker Island was used for Nexium parties and is rather close to Epstein Island. And yes, they are connected. There's been a raft of reports, and this is again something we warned of retail chains going down, and the latest is Dallas-based luxury chain Neiman Marcus is expected to file for bankruptcy as soon as this week, according to reports. Now, sources familiar with the matter said the decision was due to the economic crisis which was caused by COVID-19, and this isn't unexpected. After all, 43 Neiman Marcus locations were temporarily closed on March the 17th, and Bloomberg reported on March the 23rd that the company was in talks with lenders about filing for bankruptcy to ease its $4.3 billion in debt. So that's got nothing to do with the virus. You don't get $4.3 billion in debt within 6 days. This is an underlying problem that's not being reported in the media. I did a report on it in late January because there was 12,500 businesses in America had gone bankrupt in the first 3 weeks of this year. This isn't an ongoing issue, and the virus really has nothing to do with it. They were all collapsing anyway. Now, it's also reportedly in the process of securing a loan from creditors for hundreds of millions of dollars to sustain operations throughout the bankruptcy proceeding. Meanwhile, a majority of its 14,000 employees are currently furloughed, and clothing-focused stores are becoming under serious financial strain, not just this one. Retail sales fell 8.7% in March, the largest drop ever on record, and clothing and accessory sales dropped by most of all by 50.5%, 50.5. Now, so far, Gap has cancelled its orders for the fall season, and JCPenney and Nordstrom are rumoured to be filing for Chapter 11 if store closures extend into summer. Macy's has furloughed the majority of its nearly 130,000 employees, and Rent the Runaway laid off its entire in-store staff over a Zoom call. Nice people. One thing that was mentioned in that report was an analyst, and he said this one line, which runs concurrent with TPC and what we've talked about. And he said, almost overnight, the retail economy shifted from being about things people want to things that they need.